The moment my boss said the words, I knew my life had just been erased. I'm sorry, but we can't have someone like you working here. Someone like me. He didn't look angry. He looked disappointed. That hurt more. A security guard stood behind me while I cleaned out my desk. 20 minutes. That's all the dignity I was given after 5 years of building their sales division from the ground up. I kept asking the same question. What proof do you have? My boss wouldn't meet my eyes. We received a call from people who seemed very certain. I should have pushed harder. I should have demanded answers. But I already knew. Only 2 people in the world hated my success enough to do this. My parents. There was a time when I believed they were proud of me. When I was a kid, success meant survival in our house. Good grades, scholarships, working nights while studying days. They always said the same thing. Don't become arrogant. Back then, I thought it was advice. Now I realize it was a warning. Because every time I achieved something, the air in our house got heavier. My promotions became uncomfortable dinner conversations. My new apartment was too fancy. My car was showing off. They never celebrated. They evaluated. My mother once stared around my living room and said, "You think you're better than us now?" I laughed it off. That was my mistake. 3 days after I was fired, I drove to their house. I didn't call first. I needed to see their faces when I asked the question. My father opened the door. Same smug smile he always wore when he thought he was teaching me some life lesson. "You look stressed," he said. I walked straight into the living room. "Did you call my boss?" No hesitation. No guilt. He laughed. Actually laughed. "Of course we did." The words landed like a hammer. My mother crossed her arms, calm, almost proud. "You were becoming arrogant," she said. "Talking about money all the time." "I wasn't stealing anything," I said quietly. "We know that," my father replied. And then he said the sentence that changed everything. "We just thought losing that job would teach you some humility." I remember the silence after that. The moment where something inside me snapped into focus. They didn't ruin my career out of anger. They did it on purpose. For entertainment. For control. I left without another word. Because I finally understood something about my parents. They believed they would never face consequences. That night I stopped thinking like a son. I started thinking like a strategist. First step, evidence. I contacted my former boss and requested a formal explanation for my termination. Companies hate lawsuits, so he was cooperative, especially once I hinted at legal exposure. The call had been recorded. Company policy. When I listened to the recording, my hands stayed perfectly steady. My mother's voice. Clear, confident. She told them I'd been stealing thousands from company accounts. She said they were ashamed of me, but wanted to warn the company before things got worse. Then my father took the phone. He added fake details. Invented numbers. Lies layered on lies. It was textbook defamation. I called a lawyer the next morning. The lawsuit took 8 months. 8 quiet, patient months. I didn't scream. I didn't argue with them. I didn't warn them. I simply let the legal machine move forward. Depositions. Phone records. The recorded call. Every lie documented. Their confidence faded quickly once they realized the recording existed. My father tried to claim it was a misunderstanding. My mother cried in court. Neither of them apologized. The judge didn't care about their excuses. He cared about damages, lost income, career harm, emotional distress, and intent. When the verdict came down, the number was bigger than I expected. Big enough that they couldn't pay it. Which meant assets. Their biggest asset was the house. The house they'd spent 30 years bragging about owning. The day they had to leave, I finally visited again. Same driveway, same front door. But this time there were moving trucks outside. My parents stood on the lawn surrounded by boxes. My father looked smaller than I remembered. "You're really going to do this?" he asked. I kept my voice calm. "You taught me something important," I said. He frowned. "What's that?" "That actions have consequences." My mother stepped forward, furious now. "You're destroying your own family." I almost laughed at that. "You destroyed it when you made that call." The bank finalized the transfer 2 days later. The house legally became mine. They had 90 minutes to finish packing. Now they tell everyone I'm a monster. A cruel son. A heartless man who took his parents home. Funny how the story changes depending on who's telling it. They never mention the phone call. They never mention the lies. They never mentioned the moment my father laughed when I lost everything. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty. I don't. Because revenge wasn't the goal. Justice was. And justice is simple. You break something. You pay for it. My parents tried to take my future because they thought success had gone to my head. Now they're living in a small rented apartment across town. And every morning when I drink coffee on the balcony of the house they used to own, I think about the lesson they wanted me to learn. Humility. In a strange way, they finally learned it first.